I just found my wife. I don't know what's going on. CPR. I need CPR. Just instructions.
Chaotic 911 audio just released as we are following a major update in the shocking murder mystery of a mom who was found stabbed to death in her suburban home in the middle of the day.
There's blood everywhere.
Weeks after her homicide, no suspects, no arrests, and now we are hearing that emotional 911 call that her husband made after allegedly finding her body.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what the
We are breaking down that frantic, newly released 911 call as her husband has become the center of speculation, and the move he just reportedly made as questions surrounding what he witnessed continue to get louder. We're on the case presented by Law&Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. How does someone get stabbed to death seemingly in the middle of the day in their home, and 5 weeks later there are no arrests and there are no answers? But now we are hearing the chaos of a 911 call that was made around 4:30 in the afternoon on June 6th from a home in northern New Jersey.
911 operator 484. What's the address of the emergency?
That's in New Jersey.
That is the voice of Conor Hanlon. He is the husband of Brooke Hanlon. This couple lived in this home in Chester Township, New Jersey, a suburb of New York City, and police have been slow to release information on this case and what happened to Brooke as they try to figure out how she was killed and who killed her. Now, I'll share what Conor, her husband, told the dispatcher in just a moment in that 911 call. Now, as far as what we have learned about Brooke Hanlon in the last couple of weeks, we know that she was not just a wife, but she was a young mom. She and Conor welcomed a baby into the world just about a year ago. Quote, Brooke was the sweetest, purest person I have ever known in my entire life. That's what Hanlon's sister Paige told Fox News. She says, everything that I know, I have learned from her. I've never lived without her. She taught me everything. And you just find yourself wondering, who would have an issue with someone who seemed so loved and seemed so loving? Now, it is important to note that the work that Brooke did, it was not work for the weak. Brooke worked as a psychotherapist. So we looked that up, and according to WebMD, that is someone who helps people manage emotional issues, mental health problems, or just difficult parts of life. I mean, this is heavy work when you think of the interactions that you must have all day. And you do wonder, as this case continues on, who are the people she came in contact with at work, and what were those people going through? We don't know. On her LinkedIn, Brooke says that she is a, quote, highly motivated, responsible, and compassionate individual with LPC, which stands for Licensed Professional Counselor, licensed in New Jersey, diverse experiences in various settings working with children, adolescents, and families in need of counseling, therapeutic assistance, resources, and other support. Now, as far as her personal life, we know that she and her husband, Conor, married in 2021. They met in Boston. That's where Conor's from. And then they moved to New Jersey, where Brooke grew up. And right now, it is unclear what was going on in the Hanlon home on the day that Brooke was killed. And it's also unclear how her husband found her. What were the circumstances surrounding that? And a lot of what we have learned in this case comes from this 911 call that was just released.
Oh my God. I need an ambulance.
Okay, Chester Township, is that correct?
Chester Township. Oh my God. There's a laceration in it. There it goes. No.
So you listen to that call and you can hear Brooke's husband say, there is a laceration. The medical examiner did an autopsy on her body and found the cause of death to be multiple sharp force injuries, and her manner of death was ruled a homicide.
No.
We're getting help there. Just stay on the line and need some more information, okay?
No. Please. I don't know if there's blood. I need you here. I need you here immediately.
Yes, sir. So she is bleeding and she's not conscious. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, sir. All right, the paramedics have been sent. Just stay on the line.
Yeah. What?
If there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it, sir.
No, I don't have one. I don't have
Not available? Okay.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what's the.
Okay, please put your phone on speaker so your hands are free to help her, sir.
It's on speaker. It's on speaker. I did not move it, Brooke. No, please,
Okay.
nobody say anything. No.
One moment.
No.
All right, listen carefully, and I'll tell you how to do chest compression, sir. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
There's a cut. That's where there's a cut.
I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
There's blood everywhere.
Okay, can you place the heel of your hand on the breastbone in the center of the chest, right between the nipples, and put the other hand on top of that?
Yep.
Okay? All right, pump the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second and 2 inches deep. Okay, let the chest come all the way up between pumps. We're going to do this 600 times or until help can take over. Okay, count out loud so I can count with you, okay?
1,
2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, sir. You're doing great. We're going to do this 600 times or until help can take over, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Help is on the way, sir. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, try and take a deep breath, sir. Try and take a deep breath, sir. Hello, sir. Are you still doing the chest compression, sir?
Of course, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're getting there as quick as they can, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, as you listen to this call, you can hear the dispatcher leading Conor in chest compressions, and you just hear him yelling. You hear the chaos going on in this home as he is trying, it seems, to save his wife.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I need you.
Try and take a deep breath, sir. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And sir, I know you said, where are you in the house?
Second floor.
Second floor? Okay. Okay, keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got this. You got it, Brooke. Come on, baby. Come on.
Keep going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What
1, 2, 3, 4.
What the happened?
And where's there a large cut, sir?
There's one on her breast. There's one right below her breast.
Okay. Just keep going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Keep going, sir. We have responders pulling up. Just keep going until they take over. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep going. They're right outside. Just keep going until they take over, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing a great job, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You said the front door is open, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I'll update the responders. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on going, sir.
Yes. Come here.
Keep going until they take over, sir. Keep going until they take over.
Please. Now.
Are those the responders, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you can speak with them, sir, okay?
I found her. I need.
You hear the husband there saying, quote, I need you. You hear him saying that over and over again to Brooke as he is doing CPR. At the end of that part of the call, you can hear him tell the responders who have finally arrived on scene that he, quote, found her. And you can also hear in that part that he says Brooke is on the second floor of the house. That 911 call lasted 6 minutes and 38 seconds. And since that day, police really have not said much about this case. It actually took authorities roughly 3 weeks to even confirm the name of the victim as Brooke Hanlon. It's unclear why. In each department, each case is different when it comes to information released to the public. But in this situation, they have been very quiet. We do know there's a $1,000 reward that's been put out there for information that leads to an arrest or just information about what potentially happened. Now, as for Conor, who made this frantic 911 call, he has not been charged and he has not been accused of any wrongdoing. He hasn't been named as a suspect. We do have a big update, though, as far as what he has been up to over the last several weeks as this case has continued on and as the public has learned more about this case. We know that Conor Hanlon just hired a lawyer. That is according to Fox News Digital. The report says Conor Hanlon has been communicating with law enforcement as this investigation has gone on. Fox says that law enforcement confirmed to them that they have spoken to several family members in this case. Now, there is an interesting line to the story that Fox put up, which is when they asked law enforcement whether they would consider Conor to have been cooperating with investigators, they decided not to comment on that. Now, again, he hasn't been charged with anything. He has not been named a suspect. We may be talking about, and when you listen to that 911 call, certainly sounds emotional. I mean, this is a man who just lost his wife, the mother of his child, and he potentially is dealing with just the mystery of this, but on a far more emotional level than anyone who's been following this story. Conor has yet to release a statement or say anything publicly about what happened. Now, there have been some outlets that have been out there taking paparazzi pictures of him outside his house. Again, it's very possible that this is a widower who lost his wife in an incredibly tragic way, that he is a victim in this story. There's just so many unknowns in this case as it goes forward. Now, we don't know which attorney is now representing Conor, what type of attorney is representing Conor as this investigation is ongoing. And just because someone gets a lawyer, it is important to note that that does not mean the person is guilty of anything or did anything wrong. Now, anyone with any information on what may have happened to Brooke Hanlon, they are encouraged to contact the Morris County, New Jersey Sheriff's Office or the Chester Police Department or the Morris County Prosecutor's Office, as you can see here in a press release that was put up on Facebook. Join us now to talk about this, retired NYPD Detective David Sarney. Thanks for being here. You know, we've listened in multiple cases, 911 calls. In this one, what stands out to you about what we hear from Brooke Hanlon's husband?
Well, you're hearing a person who's apparently in shock. We don't know. Here's the thing I always talk about these 911 calls. We don't know the person that called it. That's why, as investigators, we have to interview them. That incident in time is enclosed and encapsulated in a moment within about 5 or 6 minutes. He sounds shocked. He sounds upset. He's trying to do CPR. The 911 operator is doing a fantastic job, if I want to put it that way, by keeping a very controlled mannerism through this whole thing. He's trying to calm the caller down, which is, we find it is the husband, and he's doing compressions, telling him how to do the compressions. There's a lot of things there, and that's what it comes down to. He observes a laceration on the breast or around the breast area. He says somewhere along the line the door is open downstairs. His wife is on the second floor. He's calling for her. He's doing all those things. What we use these 911 calls for, and I always say it's not just based on one item to make probable cause work. There has to be factors. This is people are looking at him as being the one. Just because you have a 911 call and he sounds upset, this is where the investigation takes place. So I hear a 911 caller who's in distress, who is trying to render aid, and the 911 operator doing a really good job by keeping the caller focused on doing the CPR for this woman at this point. He doesn't even know if it's his wife or not. He just hears. He also says Brooke could say a few times. He's doing the compressions. A lot of these things come into play, but it's a piece to what we have. The best thing you could say about this call is it freezes in time the observation of his wife being found upstairs at around 4:30 p.m., whenever the 911 call was made. So now the detectives and investigators will be looking at the pre-incident. And this is where we can freeze it and do the pre-incident.
Yeah, and I think too, when you listen, it's 6 minutes 38 seconds, and like one case I know we've talked about that people watching this show know very well is Caleb Flynn, who's accused of killing his wife in Ohio. The 911 call in that case, and he is slated to stand trial. I believe it was later this fall. In that situation, I remember Caleb Flynn and just some of the red flags that people heard at the time. We'll see, of course, he's innocent until proven guilty. Was him knowing specifics about what happened to his wife. And you can hear in the 911 he says she was shot twice, and he's very clear about that. In this case, it seems that Brooke Hanlon's husband, like there's just this shock that you would expect someone to have if you came across your significant other, where there's that moment where he's like, oh my gosh, she has a laceration on her chest, as opposed to, I think there would be a red flag if he specifically knew about those lacerations before the phone call.
Right. And that's the thing you have to look at. Every person is different, and they handle an emergency, handle a crisis situation, or something that's shocking. So you have to you're going to look for a baseline for him as far as investigation is concerned. No one is above reproach. No one is above anything. So when you talk to him and you get the interview, and, he has an attorney now, but in that initial interview, in the body cam video, if officers had it on during that time, what did he say to the investigators prior to all of this? Where was he? Where is the baby in this? Because they have pretty much a very young baby. Where's the baby at this time? As a detective, we're looking. I don't want to have confirmation bias, and that's one thing we have to look at. You don't focus on anything. Because if you think of a pink elephant, you think of a pink elephant. What we do is we take the totality of circumstances, because he approaches his home. He says he's on the second floor. He's screaming about his wife, and he's doing compressions. People are like, well, why is he doing compressions? Why is he controlling the bleeding? We don't know the scene. And that's the other thing. We don't know the scene. He makes the observation during these CPR maneuvers that he's supposedly doing at this point. We're only going on audio. That's the thing. When the officers get to scene, you're going to have more to it. So that's why we don't like to say that's the person that did it, and then we focus everything on that. Let the investigation go the way it's supposed to, which means you're going to conduct a crime scene search. You get a search warrant for the house. You're going to do work on that. You're going to interview the only person you can, which is the husband who initially found her. So, and then you're going to look further into her life also. How did anyone know she'd be home at that time? And why was the baby with her on a regular basis? And why is the baby at home? Or who was watching the baby during this time? So you're going to be a lot of these questions come out. That's why when we see when people want to bring out those pitchforks and torches and say he did it, we don't go by what we think, is what we can prove. And that's really, this is part of the puzzle of the investigation that's going forward.
I always find it interesting because there are cases where, certainly an arrest is made quicker and then there's a news conference. If this was a case and we haven't heard kind of some of those words that, phrases that law enforcement will use, they really haven't said anything, but, we'll hear, oh, this was an isolated incident. They haven't said that. The public, are they at risk? Like, they really haven't answered that question, where if there is someone who is going to homes in northern New Jersey and just randomly attacking people, you feel like there might be a little bit more noise coming from a law enforcement agency. Just what do you make of the fact? I mean, I think it took 3 weeks for them to even say Brooke Hanlon's name as the victim in this case, though there had been reports out that something had happened. What do you make of how law enforcement is playing this one just with the information that is officially being released?
They've been very tight-lipped, and I have to say, to wait a few weeks to even announce the person's name in this murder. And we have seen in the past many agencies go out as soon as something happens. An incident like this, they're going to say it is an isolated incident. They did nothing of the sort. They said there was a murder, and that was it. You didn't know where the location was. Obviously, Chester Township knows and Morris County knows, but that was something that very surprisingly how tight-lipped they are, and nothing has been leaked out at all. So that's good for the investigation. It's bad for the media because then we have speculation, and then there's a lot of people who go on social media sites and say, well, this is what it is, this is what it is. We don't concern ourselves. An investigator does not concern with what the noise is outside. We concern ourselves with the facts, the crime scene evidence, which could be either forensic evidence from the scene, digital evidence, which would be computers and the like. So you're going to go into a deep dive on the victimology, also the relationship, even because you have to. That's what you do. It's not because we think the husband did it. We have to actually look to everything because this investigation is still active. It has been very quiet, and as a detective, I'm pretty impressed of how quiet they've been with this. We're seeing this with a lot of agencies lately, where they're really keeping it very tight-lipped and just saying maybe no real presses about this. The autopsy report was released, the 911 call was released, and then you have people, through the Freedom of Information Act and stuff like that. But you're having these investigators really keeping it quiet, and they've asked for help. They have asked for public's help. But that doesn't mean they haven't done things already. So they're just adding to the part of the investigation.
Yeah, because I can say from being on like the media side of it, like in my career, like it's always that question of like, is the public at risk? That then puts, a police chief or a prosecutor, whoever who's doing like a news conference in a tough situation. Because if it is not someone who is in the home and it's not like an isolated like family incident, then you raise this like concern in the community that you do have like a Jack the Ripper character that's going around and committing like these heinous crimes. And we really don't know at this point whether they have any suspects, and they aren't saying it publicly. The report comes out from Fox News that Brooke Hanlon's husband now has an attorney. We have a lot of defense attorneys on this show that if you get pulled over, like there are defense attorneys that will say like, you should never say anything to the police. But in this situation, we don't know what type of lawyer it is. We don't know the circumstances surrounding it, but just from an investigator standpoint, when you have someone who may or may not be a suspect, he has not been accused of any wrongdoing. I just want to keep saying that. But what does that tell the detectives if you find out that this person who is the main witness in this case has an attorney?
Well, that can change the dynamic. The optics are bad from a media perspective. That why is he getting an attorney? Why does he want to help? But going back to the same thing, you have a right to counsel. We don't know the interview that had taken place prior to him getting an attorney. That's the one thing. You know nothing about this case. We don't know the day he retained one. We don't know the type of attorney is. Is it a criminal defense? It could be a real estate lawyer. We have no idea. But is it in his best interest to do so in this type of cases? It is, because we have seen people who have been wrongly accused, who have been arrested. So this is what he might be doing. Now, the other optic is, I believe that the baby is with her family. He's back up in Massachusetts. So it makes it difficult to talk to him any further, because the attorney, he has a right to counsel, which means the attorney has to be present during that time. And if we have any further questions, it's going to have to be with the attorney available. And if the attorney doesn't want to answer questions, they could stop that. So what matters is the 911 call and anything said prior to his retaining counsel. So it is an impetus at times, but it's within the American criminal justice system to have an attorney for this case.
And you think even from like a public, relations standpoint, you're going to have people that are going to say, aha, like, here he is lawyering up. At the same time, you search this guy's name on Facebook and you have people who are accusing him of, in the court of public opinion, accusing him of murder. And you're now suddenly going from being a regular citizen to a person that now is known, and you have paparazzi pictures being taken from you. Like, I'm not surprised that you would go like seek legal advice, and certainly it's his right to do so. And we'll see how the investigation takes place. Are you surprised? I mean, this was, and this is unfortunately the morbid part of this conversation. You hear in the 911 call, he says that there's blood everywhere. And we know that stabbings, just horrific crime scenes. Are you just surprised 5 weeks later there's been no arrest? I mean, we don't know if they're tracking someone down, but you just think of these types of scenes, and for someone to escape and the evidence that they may have with them, if that's what happened, are you surprised 5 weeks later that it's as silent as it seems?
Well, it's silent on the outside, but on the inside, I guarantee you, they're waiting for digital forensic evidence to come back. You could be looking for cell sites. cell site locations, looking where, there are a lot of factors you do not get from this 911 call. And a lot of things are questions that are getting answered on the side, whether they are or not. Did he use his call? Did he use his phone? Was anything stolen from the house? Was there anything moved from the house? Why was she upstairs? Is there a blood trail from the first floor to the second floor? These things we do not know. But, when you talk about individuals who look guilty, there's a difference between looking guilty and being guilty. You have to be guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. I bring this up because sometimes we lose that perspective within our society that, he's the one that did it because, look, he's got a lawyer and look to his house, and now you don't know the facts. And that's why this is quiet. The 5 weeks it takes, we talk about phone subpoenas and the like. At times to get some documentation back could be up to 6 weeks. So I work cases, robbery cases and shootings and the like, and it takes time to get that back. It takes time to get information or DNA back. Given the fact that we don't know how bloody the crime scene, we're only basing it on what he states. Was there blood there? Was blood coagulated? These are things that have been taking place with this. What did she do throughout the day? Why was she home at that time? Did anyone else know she was home at that time? Who was to take care of the baby? Because that's a big thing also. We don't even know if the baby was home during this time. So that's another thing comes into play. We don't know if he had the baby at the time. You have no idea. And that's the problem with that in the media world is we want those answers, but in the investigative world, we're going to find out those answers, and we're going to have to answer the questions that we derive from the investigation.
Brooke Hanlon, she did some heavy work. You're a psychotherapist, and that could be dealing with people who have mental health issues, people who are going through really tough times in their life. According to her LinkedIn, she worked with families, she worked with adolescents, she worked with individuals. What is the process, and can you even get, just based off of like HIPAA laws and all of that? Like, I assume if you're a law enforcement person, you want to know who she met with, who she had sessions with, and some of the issues that those people were having. Like, what type of hoops might law enforcement have to go through in getting that information?
Well, you're going to have to, again, the HIPAA laws are one thing. Yeah. You're going to go through her daily record, her daily work schedule. Who are people? You're looking at all the people she's dealt with. Do they have a criminal history? Domestic incidents, and we've seen this time and time again, domestic issues can be very volatile, sometimes violent. And if you are that marital person and you're involved, you may have one side or the other, or both, become angry at you or angry with you. Could that be a part of this? We don't know. So they're going to do a deep dive into her victimology, into her history, into the clients that she met with. They're going to do a workup on those. They're going to find out anything along those lines. They're going to look at banking records, financial reports on both sides, the family. They're going to look for domestic incidents between them or when talk to relatives and friends and family, which they probably have. And the thing is, Brooke's family has been very quiet about dealing with the husband. So they've been told by the prosecutor's office, please refrain from speaking out. We're working the case. So they're doing their job by keeping it quiet. And I can understand the pain they're going through and the horror it is to have your family member murdered the way she is. But we have to determine the totality of circumstances to determine who it is. So there are going to be a lot of hoops. They're going to be looking at her records. They're going to be interviewing those people. And it takes time. It's not quick. You want it to be the 47 minutes, no commercials, and even less in Law and Order and other shows. Right. But it takes time. And I think they want to do their due diligence. And the thing is also, they're working with the prosecutor's office. The prosecutor has their beyond a reasonable doubt. So they want to make sure any bit of evidence or any reason to make an arrest, they believe that they can prosecute that person beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, and there is, for the lack of information out there, it's important to note that like we don't know what the state of the marriage was. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the marriage. We don't know, there's always like financial records that come up. Like none of that information in this case has been put out there. And you don't have a lot of comments either from people, which to your point, law enforcement is probably telling some of the main people in the orbit of Brooke Hanlon to, hold off, because I'm sure all of them have been reached out to by members of the media who are just looking for answers in this story. And we'll see when those answers come. Retired NYPD Detective David Sarney, always great to have you on Law and Crime. Thanks for breaking down this case with us.
Thank you very much, and stay safe.
Before we go, anyone with information about what may have happened to Brooke Hanlon, you are encouraged to contact the authorities. We will continue to keep a close eye on this story as this mystery continues on. That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law&Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, and we're also streaming on Peacock. I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.